NEC Table 350.7 addresses the allowable number of current-carrying conductors in a raceway. Specifically, it states that a raceway must have a cross-sectional area of 1.2 square inches or more to accommodate 3 current-carrying conductors. The initial proposal involves 4 current-carrying conductors. This configuration is not permitted according to the National Electrical Code (NEC). NEC Table 350.7 details the requirements for raceways containing 4 current-carrying conductors. This table mandates a raceway with a cross-sectional area of 1.38 square inches or more. The alternative configuration, which involves 3 current-carrying conductors, would be permissible if the 3/4-inch conduit is upgraded to a 1-inch conduit. The 2002 edition of the NEC permits the use of bare equipment grounding conductors in raceways that also contain insulated conductors. However, it's crucial to adhere to the requirement that the bare equipment grounding conductor is not smaller than the minimum size stipulated for an insulated equipment grounding conductor. Removing one of the number 8 wires would make the original configuration compliant for use in a 3/4-inch conduit. However, removing this wire eliminates the possibility of having a spare conductor available for future expansion. The NEC specifies requirements for conduit fill, which refers to the amount of space within a conduit that can be occupied by conductors. These requirements are designed to prevent overheating and ensure the safe and reliable operation of electrical systems. The percentage fill permitted in a conduit depends on the number of conductors it contains. For example, a conduit containing 3 or more conductors typically has a maximum fill limit of 40%. To calculate the conduit fill, you need to determine the cross-sectional area of each conductor and the inner diameter of the conduit. The cross-sectional area of a conductor can be found in NEC Chapter 9, Table 5. The inner diameter of a conduit can be obtained from the manufacturer's specifications or NEC Chapter 9, Table 4. Once you have the cross-sectional areas of the conductors and the inner diameter of the conduit, you can calculate the percentage fill using the following formula: percentage fill equals total conductor area divided by conduit area multiplied by 100. It is crucial to consult the NEC for specific requirements and to ensure that the conduit fill does not exceed the permissible limits. Exceeding the conduit fill limit can lead to overheating, insulation damage, and even electrical fires. In addition to conduit fill requirements, the NEC also specifies requirements for conductor ampacity, which refers to the maximum current that a conductor can carry safely without exceeding its temperature rating. The ampacity of a conductor depends on its size, insulation type, and the ambient temperature in which it is installed. The NEC provides ampacity tables that list the allowable ampacities for various types of conductors. When installing conductors in a conduit, it is important to direct the ampacity of the conductors if there are more than 3 current-carrying conductors in the conduit. This directing is necessary to account for the increased heat generated by multiple conductors in close proximity. The NEC provides directing factors that must be applied to the ampacity of the conductors based on the number of current-carrying conductors in the conduit. It is important to consult the NEC for specific directing requirements and to ensure that the conductors are properly sized to handle the expected current load. The equipment grounding conductor, often referred to as the ground wire, plays a critical role in electrical safety. It provides a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip the circuit breaker or fuse and to energize the circuit in the event of a ground fault. The NEC specifies the minimum size requirements for equipment grounding conductors based on the size of the overcurrent protection device protecting the circuit. The equipment grounding conductor must be sized to safely carry the maximum fault current that could occur on the circuit. It is important to ensure that the equipment grounding conductor is properly connected to all metal enclosures, equipment, and appliances to provide a continuous ground path. A bare equipment grounding conductor can be used in a raceway with insulated conductors, as long as it meets the size requirements specified in the NEC. It is important to handle bare equipment grounding conductors carefully to avoid damage or corrosion. The NEC provides detailed requirements for the installation of electrical systems, including conduit fill, conductor ampacity, and equipment grounding. It is essential to consult the NEC and follow all applicable requirements to ensure the safe and reliable operation of electrical systems. Proper planning and execution are crucial when combining multiple circuits in a single conduit. Factors to consider include conductor sizes, ampacity, conduit fill capacity, and grounding requirement. Adherence to the NEC is essential to ensure safety and compliance. It is also advisable to consult with a qualified electrician to determine the best approach for your specific situation. Careful consideration of these factors will help to prevent potential problems and ensure the long-term reliability of your electrical system. When working with electrical systems, it is essential to prioritize safety. Always de-energize circuits before working on them and use appropriate personal protective equipment such as gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others. Always double-check your work and ensure that all connections are tight and secure. A loose connection can cause arcing, overheating, and even electrical fires. Regular inspection and maintenance of electrical systems are also important to identify and address potential problems before they become serious. By following these safety guidelines, you can minimize the risk of electrical accidents and ensure the safe and reliable operation of your electrical system. Understanding conductor ampacity is critical for electrical safety and code compliance. Ampacity refers to the maximum amount of electrical current, measured in amps, that a conductor can carry continuously without exceeding its temperature rating. Several factors influence a conductor's ampacity, including its size, material, insulation type, and the ambient temperature in which it is installed. The National Electrical Code provides ampacity tables that list the allowable ampacities for various types of conductors under different conditions. These tables are essential for selecting the correct conductor size for a specific application. When installing multiple conductors in a conduit or cable, it is necessary to direct their ampacity to account for the increased heat generated by the conductors. The NEC provides directing factors that must be applied based on the number of current carrying conductors in the raceway. It is important to consult the NEC for specific directing requirements and to ensure that conductors are properly sized to handle the expected current load. Overloading conductors can lead to overheating, insulation damage, and even electrical fires. Proper conductor sizing and ampacity directing are essential for ensuring the safe and reliable operation of electrical systems. When selecting conductors, it is important to consider the type of load they will be serving. Different types of loads, such as resistive, inductive, and capacitive loads, have different current characteristics that could affect conductor ampacity. For example, inductive loads, such as motors, can draw a large inrush current when they are first started, which can exceed the conductor's ampacity if it is not properly sized. It is also important to consider the voltage drop in a circuit, which is the reduction in voltage that occurs as current flows through the conductors. Excessive voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or operate inefficiently. The NEC provides guidelines for limiting voltage drop in electrical circuits. Proper conductor sizing and voltage drop calculations are essential for ensuring the efficient and reliable operation of electrical equipment. The type of insulation used on a conductor can also affect its ampacity. Different insulation types have different temperature ratings, which determine the maximum temperature that the conductor can withstand without degrading. The NEC provides ampacity tables for various insulation types. It is important to select the appropriate insulation type for the specific application and to ensure that the conductor is not exposed to temperatures that exceed its insulation rating. The ambient temperature in which a conductor is installed can also affect its ampacity. Higher ambient temperatures can reduce the conductor's ability to dissipate heat, which can lower its ampacity. The NEC provides directing factors for ambient temperatures that exceed the values used in the ampacity tables. It is important to consider the ambient temperature when selecting conductors and to apply the appropriate directing factors if necessary. Proper conductor sizing and ampacity directing are essential for ensuring the safe and reliable operation of electrical systems. By understanding the factors that affect conductor ampacity and following the requirements of the NEC, you can prevent overloading conductors, minimize voltage drop, and ensure the long-term performance of your electrical system. When planning an electrical installation, it is important to consider not only the initial load requirements but also the potential for future expansion. Adding spare conductors in a conduit can provide flexibility for future needs without requiring the installation of new conduit. However, it is important to ensure that the conduit is sized properly to accommodate the additional conductors and that the conduit fill limits are not exceeded. The NEC provides guidelines for conduit fill, which specifies the maximum percentage of the conduit's cross-sectional area that can be occupied by conductors. The conduit fill limits vary depending on the number of conductors in the conduit and the type of conduit being used. Exceeding the conduit fill limits can make it difficult to pull conductors through the conduit, increase the risk of insulation damage, and reduce the conductor's ability to dissipate heat. When adding spare conductors to a conduit, it is important to label them clearly so that they can be easily identified in the future. This can prevent confusion and ensure that the correct conductors are used when adding new circuits or equipment. It is also important to protect the spare conductors from damage by capping them off or terminating them in a junction box. Adding spare conductors to a conduit can be a cost-effective way to prepare for future expansion. However, it is important to consider the conduit fill limits, conductor ampacity, and labeling requirements to ensure that the installation is safe and compliant with the NEC. Conduit bodies, also known as conduits, are fittings used to provide access to the interior of a conduit system for wiring and maintenance purposes. They are typically installed at bends, junctions, or pull points in a conduit run. Conduit bodies come in a variety of shapes and sizes to accommodate different wiring configurations and conduit sizes. The NEC specifies requirements for the installation of conduit bodies, including their location, support, and grounding. Conduit bodies must be accessible after installation so that they can be inspected and maintained. They must also be supported securely to prevent them from pulling away from the conduit. When installing conduit bodies, it is important to select the correct size and type for the application. The conduit body must be large enough to accommodate the conductors and splices that will be installed inside it. It must also be made of a material that is compatible with the conduit being used. The NEC prohibits the use of conduit bodies as junction boxes unless they are specifically designed and listed for that purpose. Junction boxes are designed to provide a safe and convenient location for splicing conductors. They must be large enough to accommodate the conductors and splices without overcrowding. When using conduit bodies to make bends in a conduit run, it is important to ensure that the bend radius meets the requirements of the NEC. The bend radius must be large enough to prevent damage to the conductors as they are pulled through the conduit. Proper installation of conduit bodies is essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of an electrical system. By following the requirements of the NEC and using the correct size and type of conduit bodies, you can create a conduit system that is easy to maintain and provides reliable protection for the conductors.